Dumelang, my people, my people. I'll just play one more song and then we just get started. Officially. Let's just get started official. Botswana. Let's go to the kingdom. When our pagat. Oh, Lonyaga. Oh, Sugani my daughter. Thank you, making money. Thank you, my brother. Ah! Ay, Gunyaga. Oh, hayi masibambeni. Umsebenzi umninzi madoda. Oh. Twabatsheleni bonke. How are you, my brother Limakara? So that we can get started. How are you doing, my good sir? Kunjani Muren?
No, ke right weso. Taba re tlo iqoqa this evening.
We're gonna continue with the discussion earlier today. I just thought maybe let me start with I was telling people what Cape Flats is, yabo. I thought maybe let me go a bit deeper. So these are the mountains of the peninsula. This is the Cape Peninsula here. These are the mountains. This is where Cape Town is. This is Cape Town. So this little mountain is called Lion's Head. This is the Signal Hill. This is the Devil's Peak, and this is Table Mountain. So this little thing here is Cape Town, the city, the CBD. And then we have the Atlantic seaboard. And then we have the Table Bay here. This inlet of water is called the Table Bay. Now, if you notice, there's mountains all around. There's mountains all around. And then there's water here. This is the False Bay. So this patch of land here is actually flat. This is flat land. So this is the Cape Flats. This land. It's a landform, a type of land. It is not flats that were built in the Cape. Because the Cape is not just Cape Town. The Cape is Western, Eastern, and Northern Cape. Those three provinces are the Cape, but this is the Cape Flats, the flat land here. So when people talk about the Cape Flats, we talk about this land. In this land, you have Kenilworth, you have Lansdowne. Kenilworth is not a township. It's a decent suburb. You have Lansdowne, you've got Khayelitsha, further down there. You've got Mitchell's Plain, you've got Strandfontein, you've got Manenberg, you've got Guguletu. All these areas are in the Cape Flats, regardless of whether they've got flats or not. So I think that's very important. It's flat. It's surrounded by mountains. You've got your Boland Mountains here, your Boland Mountains. You've got your Tigerberg Mountains this side. You've got your Hottentot Holland Mountains here. You've got your False Bay. Then we've got your Peninsula Mountains here. Tamakut. So this is what comprises of what the Cape Flats is. Now, in the Cape Flats, one of the key features of the Cape Flats is that when you are in the Cape Flats, you actually don't see the Table Mountain. You see the back Table Mountain. You don't see Table Mountain, you only see the backside and the Devil's Peak. And then if you go there, you've got the Constantia Berg. These are the things you see. Now, I want you guys to notice something. The name Cape Town, the Cape of Storms, before it became the Cape of Good Hope, was inspired by the Portuguese who encountered storms. But they believed that these mountains were like a giant. If you notice here, this is like a nose. This is like a nose. This is a face, this one. It's a face that's looking upwards. This is the chest area, the abdomen, and these are the legs. So this is the man in the mountain, De Man en Berg. De Man en Berg, hence the name Menenberg in one of the locations. And just next to Menenberg, you have Guguletu. So this is what some of the mythologies around Table Mountain. This is not the only formation that looks like a human being. There are many other formations. If you look, even in Table Mountain itself, on the sides of the mountain, it's like there's people's faces, like giant faces that are just plastered along the mountain. All right. No. It's not a problem. It's not a problem, brother. So this is. I wanted to explain the whole name of Cape Town, so that we don't lie to each other. Now, I want to show people what a cape is. What a cape is, so that we know what we're talking about. It is not Capernaum from the Hebrew Bible. I sometimes, it's worrying, man. Sometimes it's worrying how people don't want to think for themselves. This is a cape. This thing is a cape. It's a promontory, an elevated land that extends into the water. This is another cape, this one here. It's a cape as well, right? And the bigger it is, the longer it goes into the sea, and then it becomes a peninsula, which is almost like island, peninsula. So very important to understand. So I wanted to explain that before we proceed. So now the Hebrew word, Capernaum, now let's go. Let me help people to understand how you actually, you must go into the concordance of the Hebrew language. Né? You must go into the concordance, and then let's quickly check what Capernaum is, so that we don't lie to each other. Let's quickly check what it is. And then you come to the interlinear. Spend so much time in these resources. I can't even see where it is. You come here. So the interlinear is written in Greek. So you see, Kai se Capernaum me heos, ora now hypothese, heos hado katabese. This is Greek. But the name Capernaum is not Greek. So what you do, you come here to the name Capernaum, you click on it. It redirects you to what we call the concordance, the Strong's Concordance of Hebrew. Né? Now you come here. You look at Capernaum, its Hebrew origin, which it tells you the probable words that I use. It's two words. This one, H3723, which means villages, and H5151, which means Nahum. Now let's go to the first one. Villages, H3723. So they've got codes. There's a system for these words. Now this is the word in Hebrew. Kafar, Kahfar, or Kahfar. Kahfar or Kahpar. It means a village. But this word in origin, it means hidden. Kafir, like ukufihla. It means a hidden place, as in hidden by walls. Hidden by walls. Kafir. If we go deep into the related words, let's do it. We don't have to, but let's do it. You see, it also means a village or even a young lion. It tall. But the true meaning is in the word covered. Kafir means cover. It's related to the word kafir. It is literally related to the word kafir. The word kafir also means hidden. Cover, to conceal something when you're covering it. You see? Cover. The word kafir means to cover in the sense that, according to the Islamic mind, those who did not accept Islam were covering up the truth. They were hiding. They were, befihla the truth. So this is the etymology of kapr in Capernaum. Now, Nahum is very simple. It means to breathe and therefore to rest. That's what it means. It means to breathe and therefore to rest, to find comfort. It comes from this word, Naham. Think about the word huhema, Naham. So the hidden place of rest, that's what Capernaum means. The hidden place of rest, as in hidden by walls. The hidden village where someone can go and rest. Now, Cape Town is not a hidden village, guys. It is not a hidden village at all. So the word Capernaum and the word Cape Town have nothing to do with each other. Absolutely nothing. But now, Gaib, as the quick go-up name for Cape Town, it's talking about the clouds. Now let's actually look at how the clouds gather in Cape Town. Let's look at the table, clouds in Table Mountain, and see what inspired this name. Let's see what inspired the name Gaib. Let's see. You see? This is Table Mountain. Look at that. Look at that. It's full of clouds everywhere. It's like a cloth that is covering the whole mountain. And this is what inspires the indigenous name, Mafu. But perhaps our people need to understand that some of these names come from the fact that we had an apartheid government, which was 85% Afrikaner Broederbond. Afrikaner Broederbond themselves believed in this thing, Afrikaner Calvinism. Now let's go and understand what Afrikaner Calvinism means. So it is a cultural and religious development among Afrikaners that combined elements of 17th century Calvinist doctrine with a chosen people ideology based in the Bible. It had origins espoused in the Old Testament of the Jews as the chosen people. So basically what the Boers did when they gathered for the Great Trek is when they ran from Cape Town because the British were saying they must not have slaves anymore. And therefore they threw a tantrum and they said, we're going to keep our slaves, so therefore we're going to embark on a great trek. Just like this fake migration to America they were doing recently. They did a fake migration to America recently because they cannot even, tolerate the conversation about them possibly losing privilege. Not even action, just the conversation about it was too much. And like, now let's go to America. But fortunately, only 49 went. Well, at least the ones we were told about. Anyway, so a number of modern studies have suggested the Boers gathered for the Great Trek and inspired by this concept. And they used it to legitimize their subordination of other South African ethnic groups. So this concept is what was used to justify apartheid. Sounds very familiar to me because in the same week that apartheid became an official law in South Africa, Apartheid became official law in another country that I'm not going to mention, because once I mention that country, this life is going to be cut off. They will close this live if I mention the other country that shared the same and still shares the same mindset. In fact, you have Cape Independence, which is premised upon a similar sentiment. A similar sentiment. The country is not real. It's not even a country for that matter. It's occupied land. So this is what you get. This is where you get a lot of the names then. A lot of the names like Capernaum or names like Canaan land, Bethlehem are not based on the fact that historically South Africa is Canaan. South Africa is not Canaan. If you go actually to Palestine in the 90s, there were people called Kaneani. I don't know if they're still there today, but the Kaneani people are probably remnants of the original, people of Canaan. If you are looking for Canaan land, you should look for Canaan land there, not here. This is the same way that people used our history, invaded our history. They took civilizations like Sofala, Sofala. This place, Sofala. Sofala at present is known as Nova Sofala. It used to be the chief seaport of Mwenemutapa Kingdom, basically Great Zimbabwe, whose capital was at Mount Fura. It is located on the Sofala Bank in Sofala province of Mozambique. The first recorded use of this port was by Mogadishan merchants, Somalis. One possible etymology of Sofala is go and cultivate or go and dig in the Somali language, showing the city as a hub for gold. We've been telling you that in the northeast direction of this country, gold was the order of the day. That's why we always refer to northeast as Embo, because that's where they dig. Ukomba. Look at the name Sofala. Go and cultivate or go and dig. Embo. Mapungubwe, Great Zimbabwe, Zata. There are many of these stone ruins in the northeast part of the country because it was the gold hub. But anyway, they take this Sofala and they say, no, this is not Sofala. This is Ophir. It's the mines of Solomon. It's the mines of Solomon. And then the next narrative that will follow is that the natives were slaves. We are so used with those narratives. We know those narratives where they try to spin the story around. If they can't prove that it's aliens, if they can't say it's aliens because there's evidence that it's not aliens, then it must be something other than the natives of the land. But the names of the natives, the names, Vambe in Xitsonga, Virambe or Vambe, the diggers of gold. We've got names for the fireplace where we melt the ore. We've got names, indigenous names for the ore itself. We've got indigenous names for the entire process. So it's not something that can be detached to the natives. And you don't have to claim that this is Ophir from the Bible. It's Sofala. Ophir is Ophir where it's from. It's not from here. And there's so much great history here that connects to Yemen, it connects to Oman, it connects to Somalia, it connects to Eritrea, it connects to the coast of Azania, which is not South Africa, by the way. But Mozambique is probably part of Azania, historically. So for me, it's just a very interesting thing. So look at this. Sofala's subsequent position as the principal entreport of Mwenemutapa gold trade prompted Portuguese chronicler Tomé Lopes to identify Sofala with the biblical author. So it was a Portuguese man, Tomé Lopes. Tomé is another form of Thomas, by the way. He said it's Ophir and its ancient rulers with the dynasty of the Queen of Sheba. So they say now the Zimbabweans are not the Zimbabweans, the Mutapa kingdom was the kingdom of Sheba from the Bible. But the kingdom of Sheba is recorded properly as having been probably an Abyssinian slash Axumite empire. It could not have been a Southern African empire. It had to have been a Horn of Africa or Sudanic Nile Valley empire. Thank you, Blue Moon. Ophir, no, Queen of Sheba had to have come from the Nile Valley or somewhere in that region. But no. They mix and mix and mix things that don't have anything to do with each other. And what makes it worse now is that because there's a strong Muslim presence in this part of Africa in the 1400s, 1300s, very strong Muslim presence, not just Muslims from Middle East, but also from Africa, from Bedouins. You've got Swahili, you've got Oman, you've got Eritrean, you've got Somali, Mogadishan, you've got Yemenis. All of them are here. You even have got Jewish people who then give birth to some of the clans we have today. And I think that also adds into this narrative. But Sofala is not even a Southern African word. It's a Somali word. Just like Mozambique is not a Southern African word. It's Musa ibn Bikwe. It's Musa ibn Bikwe. Has anyone sat down to ask the indigenous people who were there about this place instead of claiming that it was a historical biblical city? So sometimes it's just a matter of desperation, honestly. It's a matter of desperation from people who want to justify their incessant belief in the Bible. And you can believe in the Bible without claiming that Mozambique is Ophir. The two have nothing to do with each other. Your belief in the Bible and the Mozambique being Ophir have got nothing to do with each other. Brother Ali Makara, what do you think, my brother?
No, we otlile botsekeng jwalo. I even like the fact that you use the Strong's Concordance, so that you can even show where these words come from.
Yes,
And when we
brother.
tell people, they say it's historical. And no, this is a matter of linguistics. If you understand where does that name come from, you'll understand who used it and why they used it.
Yes, brother.
So now you can actually see that the people that came with these ideologies are Calvinists.
Yes.
Hmm?
Yes. And
That
I
the
think
people that
I think it's very important to understand that because you see now what we are not discussing, we're not discussing Hebrew as a language or whatever. What we are saying is the names you find in South Africa, which tend to be biblical names, were not even used by the South African people. They were used by Afrikaners who were pursuing an Afrikaner supremacist ideology, which links them to the Jewish supremacist ideology. It's got nothing to do with us, these names of places in South Africa. Absolutely nothing to do with us. Now, someday we could look into the linguistic side of the actual language called Hebrew, the actual language called Arabic. That's for another day altogether. But now, when words come into play and place names come into play, our places were not named like the Bible. Those biblical names, a lot of them are 2,000 years old, 3,000 years old. They've got nothing to do with us. But it's not just those names. Let me actually go a bit further. I don't want to go too deep, but I want to show you something. So, in Hebrew, now you start to read from the left. Bane Naphtali, Yahasiel, Weguni, Wayeser, Wasalum, Bane Bilha. Now, my brother, Bane means sons, Ban. But where and Yahasiel is Jaziel. What I'm getting to is Guni, because people say this is Nguni. People say this man is Nguni. Guni, it's Nguni. But if you look at the meaning here of Nguni and the meaning of our Nguni are two different meanings. This one means to defend. The defender. From the word Ganan. From the word Ganan. So already, you don't even know that the word guni in this sense is derived from another stem. You don't know that. You know, they would say inhloko inyoka uyibethe esiqwini. You're hitting the snake mid-body. You're not hitting the head of the snake. You're not hitting the head of the snake. You may be trying to do something shame, but you're doing it wrongly because you have not enough information or knowledge. Same thing with other names, like the river, Orange River. Orange River. Other names like in PE, they call it Ebai. You know, people of PE, when I did a video about Gqeberha, they went crazy. No, it's not Gqeberha, Tina. We'll continue saying Ebai. I'm like, no, you can continue saying Ebai. That's none of my business. Whether you continue or not is immaterial to me. Thank you. Whether you continue saying Ebai or you don't continue saying Ebai is absolutely irrelevant to me. But the truth of the matter is that the word Bai has nothing to do with us. It comes from Algoa Bay. It's Algoa Bay, and therefore it's gibberish. When you call Gqeberha Ebai, it's literally gibberish. Here is it's Algoa Bay. It was used by the British. So you're calling your own home with a gibberish name. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. So people want to hold on to these, they're obsessed with defending things that are not defensible. And I do not understand that kind of delusion. And then when you show them things that they should be proud of, like I recently did a video on the sayings of Amaxhosa and Amazulu and how they come from the same root. Hey, people are crazy. I say, isala kutyelwa sibona ngolophu in isiXhosa. And isala kutyelwa sibona ngomopho in isiZulu. Hey, people in the comments, no, ukutyelwa, that's a Zulu word. That's a Zulu word. We don't have that word in isiXhosa. I'm like, no. Your problem is that you only know isiXhosa from scandal. You don't know the real one. You only know isiXhosa, the one that's spoken in the corners of the streets by the Somali shop. The actual isiXhosa you do not know. The Zulu word ukutshela and the Xhosa word ukutyela is the exact same thing. Why would a royal family have praise names with this word? One of the Xhosa princes, Undlambe of Amandlambe, his praise name is Unotyelwa Engeva, Ubashe Osequkash. Unotyelwa Engeva. That means the one who's told but never listens. The one whose Mbashe River is the Qukashe River. So you think the royal Xhosas would use the word ukutyelwa? Maybe they took a horse in the 1700s and ran to KZN to borrow that word. Do you know why people start to make comments like that? It's because they want to be so different from their own brothers. They're obsessed with being different. They're obsessed with being distinct. So when you show them facts that actually force them to acknowledge that, hey, I Mara, we come from the same source, hey, they lose their minds. No, kuzongekha kanti senza ngakhona xa kunje. It's crazy, man. You know, Xhosa people and Zulu people, they make me laugh. They make me laugh because even me, I was once a victim of that. I would hear my mother speaking, and I'm like, hey, mama, ingathi uthetha isiZulu ngoku. Hey, mama, ingathi uthetha isiZulu ngoku. What's this word that you're using? Ukudangala? I don't know that word. Can't you know? It's actually a proper Xhosa word. Utyani, as this brother is saying. Utyani. That's wild. That's grass there in the wild. Utyani, yes, that's what it's called. It's like that in isiZulu, even in some of the Tsonga dialects. Because I know this one guy who speaks Tsonga, but he's from Mozambique, so he probably is maybe Ndau or something. But he calls imifino, he calls them Utyani. So this obsession with being different from each other, it takes me back to the Bantustan mindset, which was a mindset that was also imparted on our people. That no, Tina, we are from KZN. Tina, we are from Eastern Cape. No, you're not. In fact, Eastern Cape does not exist. And KZN does not exist. It was never named by us. It was never created by us. And that is not to say, because I know people are going to like, oh, in the same way, then you must open the borders. No, we can't open the borders right now because you can see what's happening in the country. People are eating dogs right out there. People are eating dogs. So that one is for our safety, purely. Yesterday, they blocked my live. I showed other people, human eating dogs and cats and lizards here. So you can't just say open borders. You can only open borders when they open theirs as well to criminals, which will never happen because they don't play like that. Okay, guys, we've opened them enough right now. And I'm saying it even to my brothers who are here, who are from, our fellow African countries. I know they're here. No, borders cannot be open. And I know they know that as well. What can be done is to teach our people about our true history, which is, it's like our people are 300 years behind. Our people are 300 years behind in terms of history. They are still stuck. It's like in a loop of being stuck and just doing the same thing over and over and over and over again. Yes, we have to protect our territories. We have to protect our territories. And when we protect our territories, then we can actually unite nicely now while we are all protected. Imagine uniting and one country is falling apart. You can't unite at the cost of another. Anyway, back to what I was saying. So you find this Algoa Bay, Port Elizabeth. And then when these names are attempted to be changed, the residents, who are usually white supremacists, they go crazy. I'll show you something just now. I'll show you something. You see this place. I did a video or a post on this place. And I was exposing the real name of this place. This place is not Port Alfred. We don't have an Alfred in our native cultures. This place is Koyi and Awa. Both names mean the same thing. It's the smoking pipe. Because before they built ports here, the shape of this place, when it overflows, of the river, when it overflows, it looked like a smoking pipe. Before, I have a map from 1820. It looks like a smoking pipe. So it was called smoking pipe. Ingaw or Awa. This place, Port Alfred. And then the river was called Koyi. They changed the river to Koyi. And then they changed the name of the place to Port Alfred. So now, people in the government saw my video, asked me to do a proposal to change the name. I did a proposal, and then they went and did their thing. They never even informed me about that, by the way. Hey, the white people went crazy. They were like, you're not changing the name. And I laughed. Immediately after the white people went crazy and pushed them away, they calling me, and then I never picked up, and I will never pick up again because I'm not an idiot. You asked me to assist, you must put my name everywhere, and you must even call me because they had to go and do a community consultation. I wasn't invited. What did the Afrikaners do? They dealt with them thoroughly. They chased them away. The name is not going to be changed. FF Plus was there. This land was overtaken, and you have even native people fighting for these things. So place names, if you've noticed, a lot of my work does focus particularly on place names because we cannot have places named Durban here, guys. We cannot have places named Durban when those people literally committed genocide against us. Why do we still have Durban in South Africa? Why not just completely remove it from the maps, right? Iteku, once and for all. Because that place is literally Iteku. It's full of lagoons and bays. Because Iteku in Valley. You're naming the place after the names of white supremacists who came here to commit genocide and wipe us out. Why would you do that? Why would you do that, Sir Durban? Yes. And then there's another one, Natal. How dare you call this place Natal? In fact, even crazier, Drakensberg, you've got, hey, hi guys, it's Yabuya. Ziabuya. And these things need to be changed, man. This just need to be changed. No, it's not just Europeans who refuse to change these names. Even natives refuse. They're like, no, we like Durban. We want it to stay Durban. Rainfall in Durban. Hey, my dad. Rainfall in Durban. Apparently, it's not gonna rhyme when it's Etequini. Rainfall in Etequini, it's not gonna rhyme. Hey, my people, man. Sir Benjamin Durban, Sir Graham, who committed genocide against Xhosa, Graham, and then they're gonna name a place Grahamstown. Grahamstown. And it's not just, even in Limpopo, Kiafana, they've got a place called Louis Trechard in Limpopo. They've got a place called Nelspruit in Mpumalanga. Nelspruit. But of all, they need to start with the rivers and the mountains. Those are very, very symbolic and spiritual in our culture. Those are very important parts. You must start with the rivers. I don't want to see Moi River. I don't want to see Bushman River. I don't want those damn names here. Bushman River, change it. Put Umches. Put Kocha. Put Kocha. Put Nanacha. I don't want to see Nanacha. And then they don't even know, they don't even put the proper spelling in places. Bushman's Neck. Yay! Yay! Pete Retif. What nonsense is that? And then the ANC is like, oh, now you must celebrate the democracy we gave you. Democracy Yognuka. Democracy Yognuka. Celebrate, guys. The ANC did so much. Now go Benjamin Durban. Let's see what he's done this one. Let's see. He has a track record. You can yambona dumjongile sisikhohlakali. Look at that. Yasibona isikhohlakali nje. The eyes speak volumes. Major General Sir Benjamin Durban. Rainfall. He was a major general. So you can imagine the crimes against humanity he committed as his Koshagale is. You can imagine the crimes against humanity he committed. And then such an important city is named after him. Akahambe. Akahambe. And he did not just commit these things in KZN. Even in Eastern Cape, he was causing havoc, this one, together with Harry Smith. Usa quit. They were busy throwing explosives on our people there. And you still have places called Harry Smith. He was a soldier. There's so much that we still need to change. So I was once at UCT this one time. Blue Moon is saying keeping these names up is ancestral veneration of oppressors. Yes, you are worshipping their ancestors day in and day out. You think it's a mistake that Muslims are always naming people who go into Islam with Arabic names? You think it's a mistake? They understand that the message that was written in Arabic before has to be made in Arabic today. And it works. It works. Maratina will be like, oh no, why, man? Hey, guys, hey, our languages are not developed enough. We don't have scientific names. We don't have scientific names. We have names for constellations, if you didn't know. We've got names for stars, and we don't have scientific names. Yeah? We don't have scientific names. UCT. If anybody doesn't know, UCT is on stolen land. It's on the land of the Kurekwa people. And then at some point, the thief and rapist Cecil John Rhodes got the land and then donated it to UCT. So this is what sparked the Rhodes Must Fall movement. One of the first things I noticed at UCT is that structurally the place is against you altogether. Structurally, that bloody place is against you because as you walk, the art, what they consider art on the walls, it's crazy. I saw a white man beating a black man who's like a slave, like beating him with a whip. Apparently, it's art. I saw a black woman, the one they call Sarah Bartman, a naked sculpture of Sarah Bartman in the library for everyone to see, and they called it art. So the structure, the infrastructure alone is so aggressive. And then after that, there's this massive statue that hovers upon your head as you are walking. Cecil John Rhodes. Students fought hard for this thing to be removed. I'm sure it's in some museum. There's a guy called Kumani Makwele. Kumani Makwele went and poured poo, excrement on this bloody statue. He poured poo and excrement. So when you talk about from Cape to Cairo, that comes from this guy. From Cape to Cairo, he wanted to own the whole of Africa. And it was well on its way. He had South Africa, he had Zimbabwe, he had Zambia. That's why they call Zimbabwe Rhodesia, from this Rhodes. Just put IA there, the place of Rhodes. Zimbabwe was his project, it was his side gig. The Rhodesia that they reminisce about so nostalgically. That Rhodesia. So the keeping of these names, I can promise you, is worshipping of demonic entities like this one. Long live Komani Makwele. He poured poop on this thing. I saw it with my own eyes. With my two naked eyes, I was there. I saw when he was pouring poop from a porta potty that the DA gives to black people in the Western Cape. There's these porta potty portable toilets. It's not even a toilet. It's literally a bucket. So Kumani went and took the bucket, brought it on campus and put it on this bag of cement and whatever they used. But these things are symbolic. It's not just this thing, the names of the buildings. It's very violent names. Jan Smarts. Do you know the crimes of Jan Smarts? Smarts Hall, Jamison Hall. These are blood suckers, vampires in human form. But then we must keep quiet because it's part of our history. No, it's not. It is not my history. Cecil John Rhodes is not my history. Eugene Terre-Blanche is not my history. Remove every single trace of them. Wipe it out from the face of the earth. I don't need it. It's not my history. 16th December is not my history. We have our own days of celebration, which are not even recognized. The first fruit is not recognized. Umhlanga is not recognized. The beginning of our year is not recognized. So why should I celebrate some bloody holiday that has nothing to do with me? It's not even a holiday. It's an evil day for that matter because the crimes that were being done on those days, I don't have enough words to describe them. Diswele imilomo, eliwaka. This is Rhodes, puppet of the Queen of England, puppet of the royal family. 24 September. Now remember, now for the 24 September, it was a Zulu celebration. It's not a Heritage Day. It's a Zulu celebration. It's Shaka Day. AmaZulu still celebrated as Shaka Day. But that week, Njevele, that week is the week of Equinox. So that week altogether should be celebrated. Yabo. That week of Heritage Day is a week of Equinox. So it's in our culture, it's the week of the planting season. That's why people go to Inzalo Yelanga. People do their traditional observations. So it is actually a good week from 21 to 24. It's a very good week for us. In our traditional cultures as well, that week is worth celebrating. Yeah, bon. Because Gumandulo, that month altogether is the month of beginnings. 3 months before that, we had June, Islimela, the first appearance of Islimela in June, which was the new year of some of the cultures. So you have June, and then you have September, and then you have December, then you have March. Those four, after every 3 months, agree there's alignment in the solar system. We have alignment, we have equinoxes or solstices. Our celebrations are in line with nature. We don't celebrate bloodbaths and the murdering of people as holidays. Abathakathi do though. Brother Makar, talk to us.
I ibekile mlo. Ibekile. Ibekile ntate Tukane. I like the roads discussion. It's actually very important for our people to understand these colonial names and
Yes, yes,
understand
yes.
why these towns are named with colonial names, right? And how they actually create this misunderstanding
Yes,
that I'm trying to also allude to, going as far as you explaining Capernaum. It's very
yes,
important that we even expand that search inland so people can actually see the geography of South Africa and what we used to call these names, like like the Vaal River. Rona re
yes,
tseba e le Lekwa,
yes. It's
you know.
really,
So
yeah,
so 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 so, so yes. So that alone has historical significance because when people know it as the Vaal River, it's like, oh, we only named it when white people came in. And we already had a name. And when they were changing these names, is when dispossession was happening,
yes, yes, yes. And
which is very important for people. Go ahead.
talking about the Val River, actually, they did not even name it. They just translated the name that was there. So you have Iligwa or Ligwa or Kwa in Kui languages,
Mm.
and then you have Khai Garib in Kora and Kwe languages. Khai means gray, dirtish water, which is what Val also means. So the Val River is literally a translation of the name they found already. Sometimes they do that, by the way. Like the river, Bushman River, Umchezi, and you have Bafane, etc., Moi River, and stuff like that. A lot of the names, they just ask for a translation. Oh, what does this mean? And then they change it. Or if they can't pronounce it, they say it the way they want. I'll show you another one. I'll show you. You see in the Eastern Cape, hey, they messed up in the Eastern Cape. They messed up there. And the people now don't have a clue where these names come from. Let me show you something quickly. There's a place there in the Eastern Cape called Case Kama Hook. Case Kama Hook. We know hook is Afrikaans, so we take it out. And then we have Case Kama. Now, the people who are from here don't know what Case Kama is. By the way, this place, Case Kama Hook, is actually Kobo Kobo. Its name is Kobo Kobo. That's the name of the place. Here it is. This is the place, Kobo Kobo, which means brittle soil. Brittle soil. Umhlaba oqoboqobo, qoboqobo. Here's the thing. The word Keiskama comes from a river that flows in the area, which is called, the river is called Keis. And Kama is literally the word Kam, amans, water. It's Kesi Kam or Kesi Kama, the sandy water. It's the sandy water. And then they call it case kama. Now the people who live here, when I'm telling them, no, it's actually place. It's a place. That's how it's called by my parents. They call it place. They don't call it the case kama. The people who live here don't even want to believe it. It's like, oh no, it can't be. They are so afraid to even go against this name. They are so afraid to even go against this name. And that's the problem. Our people are spiritually conquered. Spiritually conquered. The brother Mukalanga Wagwambe is asking about Tsitsi Kama. Tsitsi Kama, same meaning. Kama means water. Kama means water. Tsitsi means to spring up. Ukutsitsa, ngesixhosa. Amanzi atsitsayo, the springing water, the sparkling river. Tsi is the root word for ukutsiba. It's also the root word for the springbok, intsephe, because intsephe means the jumping one. Spring, literally the springing one. Intsephe, tse or tsi is the root that means to jump. AmaXhosa say, ndizawuke ndithi tsi xada. Tsi means to jump, xada means to land. So ndizawuke ndithi tsi xada evenkileni. So I will jump and land, which means I will go quickly evenkileni to the shop. But even the word venkile is wrong. We should be saying entengisweni, in the marketplace. Entengisweni. So ndizawuthi tsi xada entengisweni, or ndizawuthi qu entengisweni. Qu means to go quickly. So ndizoqu qa to go and come back. Qu qa to go and come back. Anyway, so tsi kama mukaranga wagwambe is the water that is springing, or the sparkling water, the water that is jumping. And then you have the Tsitsa River, which is also Tsitsa Kama in its full name. The problem is that when you stop caring about owning what is yours, people come and take it from you. And I'm afraid that is what is happening. I'm afraid that is what is happening to our people. I think our people stopped caring about what is theirs because they are too familiar with what is theirs. You are too familiar with your language. Uyijwayele, uyitlwaetsi, uyitayele, uyiqhelile, uluqhelile ulwimi, ulujwayele ulimi. You are too familiar, you're too comfortable, you don't even value. And it goes as far as even plant names. It goes as far as even plant names, you know? You have the plant called umhlonyane. It's just umhlonyane, man. It's just umhlonyane. You don't even understand how deep and how good its properties are. Thank you, observer. You don't even understand how good the properties of umhlonyane are. It's not just a flu medicine. So the Cape Independence Campaign, I had already touched on it. Maybe you were not here. The Cape Independence Campaign, it borders on the same white supremacist mythology of Afrikaner Calvinism. Now, let me go back to Afrikaner Calvinism, because maybe we need to understand that this is what the basis of apartheid was. Apartheid was not born in 1948. It matured in 1948. Apartheid was not born in 1948. It was born when the Afrikaners decided to settle here. Afrikaner Calvinism is a myth that was developed by this group of people, the Afrikaners. Now, the Afrikaners, in the truest sense, they are a mixture of Germanic Europeans plus Latin / Romance speaking Europeans. So they're a mixture of Germanic tribes such as Germans, English, Dutch, some Belgians and Flemish groups, plus some French, some Portuguese. Plus some French and some Portuguese. These people did not necessarily abide with Catholicism. So some of the stories they tell when they arrived here, they say they ran away from persecution from the Pope But a lot of them were animists. They did not even believe. They were superstitious people. They did not even believe in the Bible altogether. They were very superstitious. They believed in ghosts and all those things. Yeah, but anyway, so they adopted this thing called Afrikaner Calvinism. They needed to believe that they were here to take over. So apparently, South Africa is their chosen land. They call it the fatherland. The fatherland. This is the basis of organizations such as the AWB. This is the basis of organization today. I'm gonna play a thing for you. Just give me a minute. I'm gonna play a thing for you so that you see. This is the basis of groups such as the Sidelanders. Just give me a minute. Whilst this is coming, I just want to make sure that this thing is coming.
And don't forget my...
I just want to make sure that this thing is coming here so that you guys can see. So anyway, yeah, you see this? We'll look at it later. So this mythology, and I'm calling it a mythology because it's not an ideology. It is the basis of what apartheid ended up becoming. It is the basis of what apartheid ended up becoming, and it is aligned with what happens in Gaza today. It is aligned with what the Jews are doing. So what the Jews are doing is going to be done here through the Cape. What the Jews are doing in Gaza, in Palestine or Palestina, is going to be done here through the Cape. We've been saying this, and it seems our government is comfortable with that, or whatever. The government of South Africa. Maybe let me not say my government. Let me say the government of South Africa because I'm not sure if they are my government. Now let's look at this. Let's go to the Broederbond. Remember, guys, I post these things on YouTube as well. Let me show you something here. The Afrikaner Broederbond, or simply the Broederbond, was an exclusively Afrikaner Calvinist and male secret society. So the requirement to join the Broederbond, you had to be an Afrikaner Calvinist. You had to believe that South Africa is your chosen land. You had to believe that AmaZulu are meant to go and fetch water for you. You had to believe that AmaXhosa are meant to hew the wood for you. You had to believe that Masutu are meant to be your nannies. You had to believe that for you to be part of the Broederbond. And if you know anything, the Broederbond is what runs the country. They are who ran apartheid altogether. So the Afrikaner Broederbond was exclusively Afrikaner Calvinism. Focus, guys. Focus. So that you understand that apartheid was spiritual. The physical part of apartheid was the last chapter of the book. It was the last chapter of the book of oppression. The first thing they did was to demonize your existence, to demonize your language. Literally, they demonized it. I remember reading an excerpt from one of the Amalala speakers. When they were young, he says they were told that they should not speak Isilala because it's demonic, and if you speak Isilala, you're going to go to hell. Literally, they were told that Isilala is the language of demons. I remember reading that. So it was a spiritual experience. And this is an old thing. Remember, it did not start in 1948. It started in the 1600s, not even 1652, because these people were here before 1652. They just decided to settle in 1652. But they were here long before that. 1610, 1620, in fact, 1480 something, they're already here, and they found us. So you had to be an Afrikaner Calvinist, and it was a male secret society in South Africa. It was dedicated to the advancement of Afrikaners, to the advancement of Afrikaners. It was founded by H.J. Klopper, H.W. van der Merwe, D.H.C. Du Plessis, and Rev. Joshua Note. Now, normally I don't believe these things because whatever they tell you is what they want you to know. What they don't want you to know, you're not gonna know it. So I usually just peruse over this kind of stuff. The names that they give you, it's not the real names. But this is one important part. In 1918, it was started as Young Zuid-Afrika, which means Young South Africa. Young Zuid-Afrika. It was started, this is 1918 when Mandela was born. Until 1920, and then it was renamed Broederbond. Its influence within South Africa, blah, 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 blah. It had a climax with the 1948 to 1994 rule of the white supremacist National Party. By the way, the National Party is the DA today. Literally. The National Party is the Democratic Alliance today. So this secret society obviously did not just come out of its own. It was inspired by older secret societies. It was inspired by older secret societies. This society was behind the building of many infrastructures in this country, working with other societies like the Masons in South Africa, which still have a lodge, by the way, which still have a lodge in the Parliament of South Africa. I remember I saw another lodge. The lodges, they also like them when they are next to they like the lodges when they are next to government buildings. No. The ANC is just a project. It's a failed project. Well, it's not failed. Was it successful? It was meant to just, stupefy our people. But look at this. Let's look at Democratic Alliance quickly. How the Democratic... If you understand the name Alliance, you understand alliance between who and who. So, it's a liberal, blah, 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 blah. All the nonsense that they are saying. Let's go to the history. The modern day DA is in large part a product of white parliamentary opposition to the National Party. The origin of the party can be traced to the mid-1950s, blah, blah, blah. So it's partly the Progressive Reform Party. The Democratic Party. Now, you have Tony Leon, who was once part of the New National Party. Tony Leon, the renamed version of the National Party. So, the DA is basically both sides of the coin from white rulership in South Africa. Both the opposition party and the ruling party of apartheid merged and formed the Democratic Alliance. And obviously, we know the ANC is basically... The ANC right now, it's a party of basically people who are agents of the National Party. But where I'm going with this is this thing, Afrikaner Calvinism, is what gives birth to the Broederbond. It's what gives birth to apartheid, or it's the vehicle through which it's dispersed. Literally, Afrikaner Calvinism, it's what was used to buy the populace, because then you could not question the apartheid government because everything they're doing is because they are chosen. So you could not question them, you could not disagree with them. And it's not like people wanted to disagree with them anyway. Do you realize how comfortable Europeans were? They still are, but they were very comfortable under apartheid. It was very nice. It was absolutely blissful for them. They could not have possibly opposed it. It doesn't make sense if you understand the nature of the Caucasian. And this is, remember, guys, it's just purely for educational purposes, most. We're not hating here. It's purely educational. We love everyone here, right? Right? TikTok must understand. We're not trying to hate people here. It's purely educational, right? So apartheid was a cult. It still is, because apartheid still exists in people's minds to this day. It exists both in black and so-called white people's minds. Black, colored, Indian, all of them, they have apartheid in their heads. I already explained the alliance, most. The DA is the alliance of the National Party, which was the ruling party, and the progressive parties, which were the opposition during apartheid. They merged, basically, into the DA. And a portion of the National Party then went to the Vryheid Front Plus, the Freedom Front Plus. A portion of the National Party went to the Freedom Front Plus, and a portion went to the DA. So the DA and the FF Plus are both the National Party, and the ANC is their ice boy, together with all the other parties that are there to disintegrate black people. Now there's a new one coming, Mayibuye. Yeah, man. What do these people take us for? What do they take us for? But they know how people will vote. I get how people they'll be there wearing t-shirts. You just bring a t-shirt and a cap, and now people will vote. They don't mind. They don't mind. So, but all of this stems from this folk religion. The religion that says the native, or as they call the Bantu, the native is meant to be a hewer of wood and a fetcher of water. Do you know where they get this line from? It's a copycat. It's a copycat from a line in the Bible about the Canaanites, that they had to be wiped out, but they were not wiped out. Those who remain were used as fetchers of water and hewers of wood. So that's what they were saying to us, that we were meant to wipe you out, but we couldn't. So we'll reduce you into the monkeys that you are. Into the monkeys that you are. That's why they are so comfortable to, even when they do these big campaigns, adverts, they will show your hair as being dry and ugly. They will show your hair as being dry and ugly because they're not afraid. That's why H&M has the audacity, the temerity to show an advert of a black boy wearing a hoodie, the coolest monkey in the jungle. That is why they are capable of doing that. All the adverts, all the black people are dancing in the adverts, dancing, yay, laughing and dancing. That's what you are, a caricature. A caricature, an entertainment. Sing us one of those old Negro songs. That's what they used to do during slavery in America. They would call in slaves, sing us one of those old Negro songs. And then you're busy celebrating the... Oh my goodness. We are united, Rainbow Nation. The unity is only when you guys do not want to disturb the status quo. When you guys don't want to disturb the status quo, then there is unity. So this is how these people moved through a supremacy. Through a supremacy ideology. And this is how you get then things like this. This is how you get things like this. The AWB. I mean, come on, guys. But no, this is 777. They say it's 777, the number of perfection. Mara, we all know what this is. We all know what this is. These are Nazis. That's it. They're Nazis. You get these people because they believe they are the true people of the land, your land. And then this is how you get things like this. Some years ago, I saw a documentary of these guys. They were preparing for war. I'm gonna play this.
12 hours. Try Elite Alert today.
Look at this. So this is a group known as Saidlanders, by the way. The Southlanders. This is from 6 years ago, ne? They call themselves a what? I think the civil society or whatever. These guys are preparing. They are not dancing to a piano. They are not chanting. Hi, 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 hi. They are preparing with bullets and guns. Yeah, do you hear the songs? I'm not afraid to use it. They are ready, these people. I remember during the situation
Exactly.
in Phoenix. I remember, man, how people came with bakkies and machine guns. I was shocked. I was shocked. I was shocked how they came with guns and machine guns. Let's see. Slow me down, If you find a change of heart, I might forgive you. Are you listening? This is a message to you guys. And they are in KZN, these ones. They are in KZN. Look at the lands, the vast lands they have. They are trained by Israeli snipers and Americans. They are ready. They've got artilleries. They've got basements. It's the same people who are running these private security companies. It's the same people who are running more ADT and G4S. This is what they get up to on weekends. They are not getting hikiti, 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 hikiti. Kolele mzala, angqeda maliam, angithi nenina. Oh, chala bami, chala bami, kolele mzala. Yay, hey, hikiti. Yeah, my daughter. If you behave like a monkey, you will die like a monkey, motherfucker. You keep running that mouth, it just might kill you. Look at this. Can you fight with this? You don't fight with this by saying hit you, hi, hi, hikoni, hi, hit you some, hi. You see, here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. In the time of Chris Hani, those guys could chant and dance because they were actually doing something real. They were in Angola, they were in Uganda, They were in Tanzania training these guys. About Krisani, they were training in Tanzania. Even the songs, some of the songs, you understand that? Some of the songs you can hear. Ufika khayubatshele ilanga lishonile ezintabeni zaseTanzania. Because they understood what they have to do the exact same thing. They understood it. They understood it. Oh, on weekends, this is what's being done. There's a big market for clothes like this. There's a big market for guns. Big, massive market. All I'm saying is they are literally preparing. Do you see what it's like there's an apocalypse here. It's like there's an apocalypse. You get this video on their channel on YouTube. Said Landers. It's not even hidden. It's like the apocalypse, the end of the world. Let me quickly pull something up quickly so that after this video we could look at this, because that's what's coming with Cape Independence. That's the whole thing about Cape Independence. That's the whole thing about Cape Independence. Let me just quickly make sure my resources are sorted here. And then let's do Cape Exit. Guys, this is an international project. This is not... People think this is a South African thing. This is an international project, man. It's an international project. It's been in the making for a very long time. Even before 1994. Even before 1994. I just forgot the name of this Afrikaner prophet that they love so much. There's this prophet that they love so much. I forgot the name.
The sinner.
Yes, that's the one. That is the one. They've been preparing since then. Because one of the prophecies that they must get back everything. Let's see.
Can't even slow me down. You know.
You think Brasia from the township can fight with these people? Brasia who gets drunk every weekend. He doesn't even know his name. Every bloody weekend. Guys, these people are ready, man. And our people are being distracted every other week. Every other week, our people are being distracted. I just want to pull up this prophet so that you guys can go and find the book. Yeah, this is him. Sinner van Rensburg. This is the guy. This is him. This is him. You must go and find out his work. I do have some of his books, I think. A lot of these alt-right fringe societies, these groups, a lot of these fringe societies move based on what that guy said. And these people are ultra religious lunatics, by the way. You must understand that. They're religious lunatics, which means when they do something, they're not going to think that, oh no, this is just a child, guys. We cannot take their head. Just like they're doing in Gaza. They're not thinking that it's a child or it's a woman. They're wiping out everything because that's what religious, that's what you do when you're a lunatic. And by the way, this is a sanitized version. This video is a sanitized version. I know videos that were there long ago. I think maybe they removed them. Like 10 years ago, 11 years ago. They used to have a video, these guys, long ago, that they put. These boys were still 11, 9, 10. Look in their channel, the kind of stuff they put. Look at their channel, the kind of stuff to instigate their people. Look at this. They will take this video from the PAC. They will use it to instigate people. And this is how they get their people to buy into these projects of theirs. This is how they get them to buy into these things. Look. So this is from this now, from the Afrikaner Calvinism that says the natives of South Africa must be hewers of wood and fetchers of water. Your Cape independence is not a new thing. It is not new because it also borders on this. It borders on this. You see, there's one of them in the comments. We just listen to Malema, then we are ready. Yeah, there he is, my brothers and my sisters. You see, I'm not making this stuff up. Thank you, Mr. Sir, for confirming that you guys are ready. Thank you so much. Now at least people can see that I'm not lying, Yabo. I'm not a false prophet. But anyway, let's talk about the Volksstaat quickly. A Volksstaat, or the people's state, also called a Boerestaat, is a proposed white homeland for Afrikaners within the borders of South Africa. Most commonly proposed as a fully independent Boer or Afrikaner nation. The proposed state would exclude, and this is very important, would exclude African-speaking coloureds. I want to repeat, the proposed state would exclude Afrikaans-speaking coloureds, but accept English-speaking white South Africans and other white South Africans if they accept Afrikaner culture and customs. So even if you're a Russian South African like Rob Hersoff, or a German South African like Helen Zille, or a French South African like Dricus Duplessis, they will accept you. But if you are an African-speaking colored South African, you are not welcome here. You are not welcome in the Volksstaat. And the Cape Independence, I promise you, is the entry point for the Volksstaat, the Afrikaner Republic. Following the Great Trek, blah, 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 blah. Now, the Cape Independence borders on this. But they're not going to word it like that. Look at the flag, even. Vryheidsvlag, the freedom flag. They're not going to word it like that in the Cape Independence. In the Cape Independence, they will say, oh no, we are fixing this thing for only the minorities. The minorities will include the minorities. You know that's not going to happen. Ain't gonna happen. The only minorities that will be there will be garden boys and kitchen girls. And probably agents that are going to be used to wipe out their own people. So this thing of Cape Independent Party, Cape Exit, they just found a pawn, a perfect pawn in that that bloody British illegal foreigner. Phil Craig, that British illegal foreigner, with their failed, dismal Brexit, they found the perfect pawn. So now, before I give Brother Makara and Brother Clinty to speak, one brother said they will never wipe us out. All I'm saying is, I'm not saying they're going to wipe anyone out or not. That's what they are saying, that they want their own independence. And the man in the comments also confirmed that they are ready. That's what that guy in the comments said. He says they are ready. So it's not me. I'm out of this. Now what I'm saying is, if you say they're not going to wipe you out, why do you think they're not going to wipe you out? It's been done in other places. It's been done in Australia. It was done in America, North and South. Heck, it was done even in some countries in Asia. Why will it not be done here? Why do you think it's not going to be done? What evidence, what unparalleled evidence do you have to say they're not going to do it? Huh? It's happening right now in the Middle East. It's happening in Sudan. Obviously, they are involved in Sudan as well. They are bombing Somalia right now as we speak. I think that's another thing that South Africans need to realize. South Africans need to wake up and smell the bloody coffee right now. This is not 2008 when we were dizzy with the wine of Rainbow Nation. This is not 2009 when we were busy with the fever of 2010 FIFA World Cup. This is 2025. Things are getting very real. So we need to wake up and smell the bloody coffee. Smell the bloody coffee right now. Right now, you can take a drive any weekend to Sea Point. Just look who's there. It's going to be very difficult to find people who speak, is it Xhosa or even Afrikaans. You will hear German though. You will hear German. You will even hear a lot of Portuguese speaking people. And I'm telling you because I've been there. I don't even go to Sea Point anymore. It's a German free for all, and we know by German, there's two groups. I don't want to mention groups because I don't want my life to be cut off like they always do. So this Cape independence thing, it borders on the Volksstaat ideology. The Volksstaat ideology borders on the Afrikaner Calvinist agenda, which is a secret society driven. No, the Germans in Cape Town are not tourists. Unfortunately, they are not tourists. They actually own those properties. I like this gentleman in the comments. I like him. This is what happens when you threaten us. People prepare for your threats. I like him. You see, this is the nice thing about Afrikaners. They're not gonna hide. Afrikaners are not gonna hide and pretend like they're not ready. They will tell you straight that we are ready for war. Now I'm asking you guys in the comments like, oh no, we're not gonna be wiped out. Are you ready? That's what I'm asking. You saw just one video from one organization that's preparing. There's hundreds, if not thousands of them. I know of farms where it's like a military camp. Like farm owners have literally dedicated a portion of their farms to these kind of trainings. So what do you mean they're not going to wipe you out? What are you going to do about it? I'm really interested in that answer. I haven't gotten it. If you don't have an answer, I have really bad news for you. Unfortunately. Uzokwenzani? What are you going to do? You saw what happened in Phoenix, guys. You saw what bloody happened in bloody Phoenix. That was not even, it was a mini genocide. Imagine that, but at a scale of 20 times. The union building is abandoned. It's empty. There's no people there. What you see are shells, shadows. What you see are shells, they are shadows. There's nothing. Look at Paul Mashatile. What can he lead people to, Paul Mashatile? What can Paul Mashatile actually achieve? Tell me. Look at that boy. Who's that guy, man? That insignificant looking being. Foreign Minister Ronald Lamula. The one who was being tapped on the shoulder by Rupert there in Washington. You think that thing can lead anyone? He was being tapped. Oh, look at you now. You're a good boy, yeah? He's smiling. How can another man say that to you if you have two balls? So, my people, the Afrikaners are ready. There's a gentleman here in the comments who's very ready, and I like him because that's another thing I like about Afrikaners. Afrikaners don't have time to play, man. They don't give a damn. They don't have time to pretend and play nice with you. They're not like English people. They will tell you straight, look, we are going for war and we will take you out. Now, our people are busy singing and dancing every weekend. Hey, I'm a piano. And they say you're not going to be wiped out. You're going to be removed like flies. What? xa sekukhala inkanunu uyazi inkanunu idubula ikubethe ingqondo ididizele uphambane ingqondo ungazazi ungubani. I've been saying that abantu badinga, and I will have to speak in kulwimi lwesintu, abantu badinga uhlanganisana ecaleni. Xa sisithi hlangana Zulu, hlangana Xhosa, kopana Mosotho, kopana Mopedi, it's time now ukuhlangana for real. Akuhlanganwe for real. Kudala ke ndisitsho madoda. I've started now with my own group on the side. We're building a strong foundation. I want my people to be free mentally first. Next, we are moving towards physical stuff, because what you want to do is to actually buy weapons, lands. Don't wait for expropriation without compensation, because it won't happen. There won't be expropriation without compensation. Ramaphosa is not going to do it. Ramaphosa was busy saying, we must ask ourselves why people are living in poverty. How can you be telling us that nonsense, but you are the president? How can you say we must ask ourselves? You are the president. You can't be saying we must ask ourselves. You must tell us the answer. Why are people poor, president? I'm afraid of what's coming. I've seen it years before, many, many times. Those who are close to me know. I've seen it years before. Brother Lee Makara, you can have your say. Yam in the comments, I agree with you. Yam in the comments, I agree with you. Sorry, Brother Lee, I just want to say, I don't want to say it out loud with my mouth. I agree with you. It's time to actually take some real action right now. Organize, come together, pull funds together. Next year, January, I'm going to announce something. Remember how apartheid came about through the secret societies? That's what you want to move towards now. And civil societies. Hey, the native people of this land are not represented anywhere. The ANC doesn't represent the native people of this land. The PA doesn't represent the native people of this land. All those parties are just tricks. They are controlled oppositions. But the ANC is no longer a majority anyway. It's no longer in charge. It's not a majority. Like, literally speaking, the ANC is not a majority party. For women and children to have a place to go, there has to be lands first. So what are our men doing? Our women are busy giving birth to Nigerian children. Hey, guys, Brother Lee Makara, talk to us. Talk to your people.
Hey, yeah, guys, kuningi man, kuningi, and I hope our people see why we have so much pushback when it comes to religion. The brain for me is that messing with the brain, because even if we were to say we are going to war tomorrow,
Yes.
we're gonna have a lot of our people who are gonna side with the Mzungu because of religious dogma.
Yes.
Because they will want to be one of the chosen ones.
Judge
Oh, we're the chosen
Mukweng.
city. There's no chosen people. Yes, guys. There's no chosen, guys. And these people that are selling this idea are supremists. They are supremists. They are people that are pushing an ideology that they are superior than others by bloodline. And there's no such a thing. So our people need to get off that nonsensical thing. Like abanye abantu, like the Lembas, like the guys in Uganda. All that nonsense is seeded by people who are actually Zionists, who are pushing this biblical narrative. So that's why we first need to break that spell of religious dogma and totally out, because currently we are pampering this nonsense.
Yes.
We are trying to mix it with our ideologies. Hey, it's Chunywa this, it's Chunywa that. We need to get rid of this nonsense. What is so wrong about being Mutu the way you are, 100%, without having no ideology that is Western nor Eastern? Why can't we just be abantu baseNingizimu and be proud
Yes.
without even saying South Africa? Because naleyo nje, as you just showed ukuthi there is that new Zaid Africa. Those are not our ideas, guys. Siyayithatha lento lethi sihamba nayo singazi ukuthi yenziwe abobani. Today
Yes.
at least people saw that this is a Calvinist idea, as some other people will be talking about from Cape to Cairo. Some people will be talking about Azania, not understanding. All that nonsense is colonial mindset. It's all rooted in colonial mindset. And because our brothers are following Marxism and democracy, liberalism, and all of the isms, and forgetting to follow the simple principle of Ubuntu. It's not complicated, it's in our language. We can frame that around our modern way of life and get rid of all these other isms. Why can't we just do that?
The
Why
isms and
can't we just do
schisms.
that?
And tell you what
Yeah, get rid of all of
about
them.
the isms and
Yes, brother.
schisms themselves. A lot of them come from the same source. Just like religions, a lot of them are designed by the same group of people, just like these isms and schisms. Oh no, Marxism is against communism. Communism, no, it's not like capitalism. You just follow the bloody thing properly. You realize it was designed by the same group of people. And I mean same, as
Exactly.
in same. It's not even like by mistake. It was designed properly. At the highest level, these people don't even believe in this nonsensical stuff. It doesn't work for them. They believe in power and control, and that's it. They don't care whether it's communism or Marxism or capitalism. What they want is benefiting. So what you want to do now is to preserve your people. Preservation. So the next steps, people are asking, what are the next steps? Free yourself. Free yourself from all aspects of life, mentally, spiritually, socially, economically. You cannot see your hair as being ugly. You cannot see your eye color as being ugly. You cannot see your shape of nose as being ugly. You cannot see your height as being ugly. You need to be free in the most holistic sense of freedom. Even Mandela. And I don't want to even get into who Mandela was and Gibson Makanda. Those are other distractions that our people are being infiltrated with. Oh no, Gibson Makanda. Yay. Please stop with that garbage already. Please stop with that garbage already. Hey, white man, come. Join the panel. Come and talk your truth. Come. Or you get blocked. Come to the panel, speak openly, and I will record everything. Remember, I will still post it publicly. So whatever I'm saying here, I'm not gonna withdraw. Come, you are welcome. You are welcome to
And we
join. I'm
must
ready
come, we
for
must
you.
come
I've been waiting. Yeah,
respectfully,
come,
brothers.
brother Clinty. Do you have a word for us?
Hi, greetings, my brother Sandile. Always a pleasure to just hear your voice on this TikTok streets.
Thank you, brother man. Thank you.
Brother Makara also, always good to see you guys whenever you guys are together. And I will always make reference to guys like yourselves.
Yes.
And the liberation of the mind is something that our people haven't made as an important issue. They haven't. I'm going to make a reference quickly, just to touch on what you and Brother Lima Kara have said already.
Yes.
We must understand that history is the blueprint of what's repeating itself currently. I will rephrase it again or repeat it. History is the blueprint of currently what's repeating itself.
Yes.
And I'm going to make reference to it. We must understand when D.F. Malan and Hendrik Verwoerd was called the architect of apartheid.
Yes.
I have to make reference to these things before I'm going to say something else at last before I'm going to land.
Yep.
Now we must understand Hendrik Verwoerd came here as a foreigner. Don't forget that. He wasn't born on the soil of South Africa. Hendrik Verwoerd was not born in South Africa. They naturalized him and his family when they came to South Africa. And Hendrik Verwoerd became the architect of apartheid, which was a foreigner, which was a European foreigner. That's one reference that I'm making.
Mm.
Then I'm bringing it a little bit forward quickly, just a little bit forward to what currently is happening. Now, I said the history and the blueprint of the history is repeating itself.
Yes.
Craig Phil is one of the founding members of the Cape Exit, Cape Independent movement. Craig Phil
Mm.
was not born in South Africa. He was made
Mm.
a resident of South Africa, permanent resident. He naturalized to be a citizen, but not yet a citizen. Now, I want us to understand this. Every time when a European comes to South Africa, there's a reason and there's a mission and there's a plan behind it.
Mm.
Now, the same as Hendrik Verwoerd, that was an architect of apartheid in South Africa, that was a foreigner and a European, came to South Africa, they made him a citizen of South Africa. Remember, first of all Europeans that came to South Africa, they were made citizens by their own laws. We never made them citizens. We mustn't forget about this history, because this is
Yes.
the history that we sometimes want to throw out of the window and say, let us move forward.
Mm-hmm.
But when we move forward, why don't we make reference to how they became South African citizens?
Mm.
Now we're taking it back, coming back to currently, that our people don't want to read up on, or they're not interested in it. Craig Phil is not just making a movement that is just a thought overnight. It's a very strategic plan that has been orchestrated, that it will repeat itself, because he's busy with the Cape Independence. And how was they be able to conquer our people? I'm going to just make reference. Now remember this, these people first have to cause destabilizing of communities and societies and family structures.
Yes, yes, yes.
And we forget how they did what they did. We forget.
Yes.
We forget. Hence, they are doing it under our noses currently, and we still don't see the blueprint of apartheid and colonialism, because we were told, forget about the past, move forward. But the moving forward is to distract you to look into the past, to identify what's currently happening in front of your eyes.
Mm.
That is the word moving forward. So I'm going to take another reference quickly. I already used Craig Phil as a Cape Independence, and I linked him up the same way that he is a foreigner and came to South Africa as a Dutch foreigner, and he came to South Africa and they made him a resident, permanent resident, not a
Yes,
citizen yet. The same like Hendrik Verwoerd. Now I'm coming back to what you made reference to earlier, my brother Sandile,
yes.
about the military camps that we have on farms, and we are ignorant about it as a people.
Yes.
Now recently, for the past 17 months, there was 5 farms where they apprehended 5 white farmers for having machinery to produce and manufacture narcotics in South Africa in
Mm.
the past 17 months. And it's not national or public knowledge to everyone, because not all of the people in South Africa cares about what the white people do in South Africa. Or let me say
Yes.
so-called white people.
Yes.
5 farms, manufacturing machines that can produce and manufacture.
You are muted, Brother Clinty. Please unmute your mic.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Last year, the last 2 farmers that was found, which was so-called white people, European settlers, that was found in Brackenfell. You can go search this information if you want to, even, guys. My brothers and sisters, those that can hear me. The last 2 white farmers, so-called white farmers, was found in Brackenfell, a farm that manufactured narcotics and produced narcotics. So now I made reference to that. Now, South Africans is not making a noise about it, or they're not loud enough about it. And news outlets, the big news outlets, never told South Africans about the
Yes.
5 farms that where white farmers was apprehended, is because news outlets is steering thinking patterns.
Mm.
News outlets is steering thinking patterns. Now I'm going to go back to this also. We mustn't forget Project Coast.
Yes.
There was a Project Coast, and I'm going to rather try to read from the article specifically. I can quote it out of my head, but I'm going to try to read it from the article. Now, Project Coast in South Africa was a biological and a chemical warfare against the people that the apartheid government oppressed. When I say they oppressed us, it was not just psychologically. They compromised pharmaceutical products by putting poison into the pharmaceutical products. The narcotics that they pushed through different current leaders even through the Project Coast into our societies and our communities was to destabilize our people, to enslave them to addictions to substance. So this is the article that was said. The article is saying this, Wouter Basson, and I'm going to land with this, Wouter Basson, facing 10 charges including the manufacturing of narcotics, the former head of special operations in the SA Defence Force, Dr. Wouter Basson is facing an array of charges ranging from instigation of unaliving to the possession of huge quantities of narcotics, including ecstasy. The details of the charges pending against the head of former South African government chemical and biological warfare program were revealed at the Truth and Reconciliation hearing in Cape Town on Monday this year. Remember, they have called him up for crimes against humanity. Now, this is things is supposed to be public knowledge for South Africans.
Yes.
It's not public knowledge because our focus is being steered to focus on fellow Africans to be a problem. And the Umzungu is not a problem. And then the hearing, which follows, 2 years of investigation by the TRC is aimed at revealing how the program operated during the final years of National Party rule in South Africa. And then it goes, who investigated the charges against Wouter Basson, gave details of the charges in a letter he submitted to the TRC. The charges include instigation of unaliving and assault with intent to do grievous bodily harm, which relate to the unaliving of Renano official Orlando Christina in the 1980s. He is also facing charges of manufacturing narcotics, capsules as well as ecstasy, and a number of cases conspiracy to unaliving our people involving the alleged of use of poison in our pharmaceutical products. So the times that you went to the doctor or to the hospitals for all the hospitals and clinics that they used to put up in our communities, there was an intent to unalive our people. They compromised the pharmaceutical products in the clinics as well as the hospitals, because remember, no African in South Africa ever manufactured pharmaceutical products. Understand that, my people. Understand that no African in South Africa has ever manufactured pharmaceutical products. I want you to be able to let it go into your head, your subconscious, and make it part of you to say, my people never manufactured these things.
Yes.
So, Dr. Wouter Basson poisoned pharmaceutical products, all that injections that they used to give us before we used to go to school in primary school. Many of us have it on our left arm, on our shoulder, or our right arm. It's updated news, yes. Toro is updated news. So, currently we are being distracted by white farmers that is still manufacturing and producing narcotics on farms. We are distracted by Craigville that is still trying to maneuver the propaganda of the Cape Independence, the Western Cape exit. And we also don't focus on the pew producing or the pew distributing. There's a guy called Christian Prinsloo. This is also news. I hope people go read these things. Christian Prinsloo distributed more than 2,000 pews over the Western Cape in Langa, Guguletu, Mitchell's Plain, Khayelitsha, Bonteheuwel, Heideveld. Christian Prinsloo is supposed to have a crime against humanity Christian Prinsloo did 3 years of his sentence that he was supposed to be incarcerated for 18 years of his prison sentence because he's a white colonel. Now, I want you guys to think of this. I'm going to land with this. Think about this. A colonel from a Pretoria SAP station out of the Western Cape. How did he find his way to the Western Cape to go distribute more than 2,000 pew-pews to different gangs in different areas, that is Khayelitsha, Mitchell's Plain, Elsie's River, Delft, Guguletu, Langa, Nyanga, Crossroads, Philippi, Lavender Hill, all these areas. He found his way from Gauteng. I want you guys to picture it in your head. A colonel from a SAP station made his way all the way from Gauteng to the Western Cape. And he did prison sentence only for 3 years instead of the 18 years. South Africans is not making a noise of that. This guy has crimes against humanity because he's white. There's no crime against humanity. And we're not treating it as a threat as it's supposed to. I'm going to rest with that.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Brother Clinty. Thank you so much. I hope this makes it clear to the people that the government is just managing. They are not really running anything. They are just managing. And I like how everything we speak about is never something that would receive coverage. Your News 24s don't like to talk about stories like this because they are owned, a lot of them, by Nespers, you know. A lot of these news stations are owned by Nespers or by the Kirsch Consortium, which is run by the Jewish family, the Nathan Kirsch Jewish family, which runs Eswatini, by the way. The Kirsch Consortium, the Jewish family of Nathan Kirsch, they run Eswatini, which is now, Eswatini is now the new, ground for dumping. It's the new ground for dumping criminals that enter South Africa. So Nathan Nati Kirsch is a Swazi and South African billionaire. Not true. He's a Jewish billionaire. And philanthropist, whatever. He has the Kirsch Group, which holds a majority stake in Cash and Carry, New York State Cash and Carry, and Jethro Holdings, owner of restaurant Depot, Jethro Cash and Carry. The group also has investments in Australia, Eswatini, the UK, US, and where? Israel. Not only stake in Israel, but they were supplying security systems. They were supplying security systems to Israel, basically the army and the intelligence. He lives where? Eswatini. And has residence in the UK and the US. He has about 7 billion rand, $7 billion. This is what they say. He was born on the 6th of January, 1932, to Jewish parents who immigrated to South Africa from Lithuania. He's from Lithuania, basically. So he owns the Kirsch Consortium. The Kirsch Consortium owns Prime Media. The Kirsch Consortium owns Prime Media. Prime Media owns what? Let's see. This is Prime Media. They own a lot of radio stations in the country. So when you see these things not in the news, you must understand it is backed by Mine Workers Investment Corporation, Ethos, First Rand Group, Old Mutual, blah, 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 blah. But it's founded by the Kirsch Consortium, by the Kirsch family. This family, by the way, has been accused of funding EFF. That's all I'm going to say. But this is what they own. Cape Talk, which is based in Cape Town. 702, which is based in Johannesburg. KFM, which is based in Cape Town. 947, which is based in Johannesburg. And then the newspapers, they own Crime Line, or they have civic organizations like Crime Line, Lead SA, and then they've got other services. But they also own Eyewitness News, EWN. This, together with Naspers, They are working hand in hand. So you're not going to hear about stories like this. Remember, I told you about controlled opposition, like Bravilla is saying there. You're not going to hear about stories like this. So the battle is not a local battle. It's for local resources, but it's not a local battle. It's an international battle that we are dealing with here. And they are dealing with our neighbors, Eswatini. They are dealing with our neighbors, Botswana. They are dealing with our neighbors, Lesotho, Mozambique, and possibly Zimbabwe. Eswatini is the easiest for them right now. It is the easiest for them right now because it's all driven by money. Eswatini is the most, there's no core sense, nothing Eswatini. Driven by money. So they're able to even accept these mercenaries from the USA. Obviously, they won't say it's mercenaries and snipers. They will say it's criminals, dangerous criminals. But I promise you, those dangerous criminals, they won't come here walking. They will not come here by themselves. They will not come here with just, air hostess. There's going to be trained military personnel with them. And they may not go back. They may not go back. So you've got Eswatini with these unclean billionaires and these deals with America and the UK and all these other royal families. And then now you have the king, Umisuzulu, who is blood related to the king of Eswatini. Umisuzulu was just right now telling people to prepare for the New World Order. Just now, he was telling people to prepare for the New World Order. He says we must not be afraid of the New World Order. He said it himself, just like Ramaphosa said it a few years ago, that we must prepare for the New World Order. Thank you, guys. So it's not just political, it's not just paramilitary, it's also the royal families. Do you remember between 2019 and 2023, how many royals they wiped out in South Africa, working with you know who? GOV. Do you know how many royals were wiped out from the Xhosa royal families to the Zulu royal families to, hey, and I knew something was up. When the prince passes away, the father passes away, the mother passes away, the sister passes away. You know the Xhosa queen Unolo Iso was the sister of King Zwelithini. They all passed away in a few years. Same as the Xhosa king passed away. Another wife passed away. Another Amapaka passed away. And these are kings and queens who were resisting. They were all resisting. Now we're being told to prepare for the New World Order. Kungaqhuma kubasiwe. Kungaqhuma kubasiwe. Where there's smoke, there's fire. Where there's smoke, there's fire.
Something? I just want to add on. One of our brothers also now he made a comment, Brother Timeless. I just want to. We mustn't forget, guys. There was always a Broederbond.
Yes.
Guys, now we always had a Broederbond, which was the shadow government. The shadow government was the Broederbond, was a cult on their own. They controlled the mining industry, they controlled the banking system. Where did they disappear? But the banks never disappeared. The mining industry that they took by force never disappeared. The shadow government was always the Broederbond, but we must always remember this. The Broederbond made the NP government officials usher in the ANC for the first 3 years into government. Remember this, guys. We mustn't forget. In South Africa, there was a Broederbond. There's a shadow government. In 1959, when Brother Robert Sobukwe left the ANC Youth League, and he said that they are already infiltrated the ANC. Let us not forget what history is also, because history is very important to be able to make reference to what's happening under our noses. The Broederbond is still in charge of the banking system. Why does the banking system still stand in South Africa? While the banking system, all these major banks, have crimes against humanity against them, but they are not being called to trial for crimes against humanity. We're sitting here and we're being distracted to say to us who is the real criminals, while the real criminals is being legalized under our noses. Today we call them the legal banks. Who's running the banks? Not our ancestors. Come on,
Not at
guys.
all. Not at all. And it's not just, my goodness. It's not just not our ancestors. It's actually the same bloodlines who committed the original sins. The same bloodlines who were behind those ships in the 1600s, docking in here in the 1400s. Because those ships started in the 1400s, not in the 1600s. People think it's just the 1600s. No, the royal families sent these people in the 1400s already through Mozambique, through Delagoa Bay, through the Cape and the Eastern Cape. They took our people as slaves. I hear many South Africans don't even know that our people were taken as slaves. They think it only happened in West Africa. No, it happened here as well. Our people were taken as slaves. I repeat, our people were taken as slaves. But one of the first sins they did was to take a resource, a lifeline in our indigenous cultures, the water. Wherever they went, they would take the water because they needed the water for their ships. They went to Delagoa Bay. They went to Mozambique. They claimed the waters there. They went to the Cape. They claimed the waters. In fact, one of Jan van Riebeeck's first sins was to literally take a river called Kamisa. He took that river and he removed anyone who used to use that river. He said, we own this now. You can't fish. You can't trade. The water is ours. So that was a very clear sign. Absolutely very clear sign that what follows next, the moment Jan van Riebeeck heard that there's gold, and it's not even my opinion, it's written in the books, presses of the archives of the Cape Colony from 1619 or wherever of the, I'm just going to show it to you guys so that you can go find it and read for yourselves. The moment he was told by the Qhinikwa people that there's gold if you go deep into the country, here it is. These are the books. You can find them on Internet Archive. Go to Internet Archive, download them in PDF form. Or even the National Archives and Records Service of South Africa, you can find this. These are the diaries of Jan van Riebeeck. And all these guys, when they heard that there's gold from the natives, that's when they decided that they'll never leave the country. Jan van Riebeeck was planning on going back to Vietnam, where he was committing crimes with the natives. Remember, they were there all over Batavia. They were all over Indonesia there. They colonized there as well. They were taking slaves from there as well. But when he heard that there's gold here, they lost their minds. 1688, they are sending Isaac Schrijver to the Eastern Cape to go and find out who stays there. Where's the gold? That's the only reason they went into the country. They didn't care about the people or whatever. They wanted the bloody gold. And they found it. And when they found it, all hell broke loose. Hell broke loose even before they found the gold. But when they found it, all hell broke loose even more. But here's the problem, and I've been saying this. The same people who claim to be leaders, your ANC and all their political parties that they are with, they don't give a damn about no bloody South Africans. They don't give a damn about you. They don't give a damn about me. I was just telling you guys just now how I was contacted. How I was contacted to help in the renaming of a town in the Eastern Cape called Port Alfred. But when it was time to go and make the presentation, I was not even called. And guess what the white people did in Port Alfred? They chased them away. Like, you ain't changing no bloody name here because they didn't call me. This is the name changing is not a thing of politicians. It's a spiritual calling. I should have been there. So they don't give a damn about you. They don't give a damn about me. That's why our people are living in shacks. That's why our people are the laughing stock of the world. And they open up portals so that the nomadic, who are those digital nomads, whatever they call them, it's basically European foreigners. Digital nomads come here and they increase the price of rent. For a room now in Cape Town, you need to pay 12,000 rand. For a room in the CBD, 12,000 rand. For an apartment in the CBD, a minimum of 15,000 rand, and you need to pay double deposit, amongst other fees. So if you have rands, you're not gonna afford. Not only is the CBD, but the entire now main road, Salt River, Woodstock, it's literally being gentrified. They are gentrifying the place. They are revamping the buildings, and they are pushing up the rent. They are gentrifying the heritage area of Bokap. They're literally gentrifying Bokap. And it's not the first time. It happened before in the 1800s. It happened in the 1700s when people were being chased out of Constantia, when people were being chased out of Hout Bay, when people were being chased out of Windermere, Brooklyn, when people were being chased out of Rugby, Milnerton, being pushed to Hanover Park, being pushed to Guguletu. People were being chased out of Maitland and being pushed to Nyanga and Kwalanga, Ndabeni. It's not the first time. It has happened before, and it's going to happen again. So, sitting here and saying, no, they can't do it, and you're not preparing, they will do it. I promise you. I promise you they will do it. You've got the bloody national dialogue when people don't have jobs. Bloody national dialogue. Oh, it's national dialogue, guys. We must talk. He's gone now to Tokyo. Ramaphosa. He left the dialogue nonsense. He's gone to Tokyo to go and enjoy life and the money they take from us every month. No, my brother, I'm not a sellout. I'm not. I'm actually a weapon. I'm a weapon of mass destruction to them. That's what you should know. Look at this lady, pause. She's saying, my grandmother's family were chased away from Kensington, and my grandpa's family were chased away from Constantia. Nothing is done. Yes, I know. I'm saying it because I know. I'm saying it because I know. I know a guy whose family was chased from Milnerton. They are stuck in Guguletu now for generations. Guguletu was not a place where people used to live. Mitchell's Plain was not a place. These places were forests. They were literally forests. They were farms. That's why Philippi, there's a place called Brown's Farm. It was literally a farm. Anyone who knows these townships that I'm talking about, you know, in those townships, you'd be chilling, and then a pipe bursts from deep underground. A pipe bursts from deep underground. And then the city of Kitan comes to check the pipe. They discover, no, it's a pipe from back in the day, from the farm that was in here. So these places that people were moved to, even the villages, it's not just the townships, the villages, I can say without any doubt, the majority of the villages that people live in now, a lot of them were not even the original villages, because original villages were like farms today. A house was like a farm today. It literally, what they call farms today, the massive amounts of land they have as farms, that's how our people used to live. You didn't have a neighbor just next door. You didn't have gunshots every night. So, my people, I wanted to answer the question of Cape independence, but we had to go back to understand that Cape independence is not anything new. It's as old as the invasion began. I told you just a few days ago that the parasite comes and the parasite imposes itself upon the organic. The parasite comes and uses the body of the host, the organic body, for its parasite ends. And if the organic host, does not know that there's a parasite who has come upon the host is bound for destruction, because the host is not designed for consumption. So you organic being who's the native of this land, you will be destroyed if you do not change your ways. You will be destroyed if you do not change your ways. It's coming. It's time now that we speak it out. It is coming. You heard that Afrikaner here. He told you guys that they are ready. He did not care that there's so many natives here. No, he told you we are ready. They are waiting for the simplest reason to come guns blazing in the most literal sense. So what's the way forward now? Someone said we need our own Orania. I understand what that means. I've always said that, guys, what's needed is a parallel existence. Don't follow the ways of the system. Parallel existence. So you want to trade amongst yourselves. If someone has the technology to extract oils from avocados, make essential oils we buy from you. We fund you. If someone is able to extract essential oils from other, like chia seeds, whatever, do it along next to this economy, not in this economy, next to it. You operate there. People come together, get lands. But before the land, people must work together online like we're doing right now. There's 140 people here. There's 140 people, but in total, people who joined this live, it's 3,300 people who joined this live. This live had 3,300 people. So of those 3,300 people, all I need is 1%. Just 30 to work together. I'm not saying 90% of us. I'm not saying 10%. I just want 1% of my people. The same way that I have that program that I'm running where I'm teaching indigenous languages and how all our indigenous languages link together. The same way I'm doing in that program. 250 a month, all I need is 20 people. I don't need 2,000. I've got more than 20,000 followers, but I just need 20 people. It's the same way the solution for these problems we just discussed is going to come. It's not going to come from majority of our people. Majority of our people will continue to enjoy the delusion. Majority of our people are drunk with the wine of Babylon, the wine of delusion. Majority of our people prefer to drink every weekend and dance, and there's nothing wrong with that. If they want that, well, there is something wrong actually. Screw that. There is something wrong. You can't be dancing when your children are being raped left, right, and center. There's something wrong with that. And someone has a problem with that, they better come out. We're ready now. So what we need is to educate ourselves about who we are. It's very much part of this whole thing. We need to educate ourselves about who we are so that you can have an anchor. Your knowledge of self is your anchor. It's your anchor, it's your foundation. You don't go to battle because you feel something. You go to battle because you know something. That if you don't, someone else is going to take over. So guys, I've been saying it. We need to start to collaborate. Not by word of mouth. And I don't need 100 people. I just need 10. I just need 5. I just need 1%. Just 1%, because if you start to want like an entire tribe now for people to follow these things, trust me, that bloody movement will be infiltrated just like the ANC. It will be infiltrated just like the ANC. It's going to be a joke. Look at the ANC. It's the butt of jokes. Bottom of the barrel. Complete failure. They are a complete failure. They keep on giving their enemies reasons to mock them. AfriForum is flourishing because of the ANC. And at this point, one might even say the ANC and AfriForum are doing the same thing, just on different sides of the coin. So guys, I want to announce now that I do have a YouTube channel. Those who want to go and view my videos, go to my YouTube channel. You will see the name of the channel is Sandile Tukani. This is my YouTube channel. I talk about our indigenous languages. I talk about indigenous history, indigenous science, everything indigenous. I do discuss on the channel. Those who want to learn in depth and are willing to actually pay for it, and are able to, are more than welcome to inbox me. I have the details. It's simple. I've got about 11 people now in the program already. It's going to run until January next year. And yeah, the idea is to transfer as much knowledge to the guys as I possibly can, so that by the time I finish the 6-month program with them, they're able to do something similar to what I've been doing. I realize that I cannot do it alone. I cannot do it alone with the few people who are doing it. So I'm trying to equip my people with the knowledge. And it's knowledge that you'll never find at university. You'll never find anywhere. I can say that without a doubt. So yeah, those who are interested can let me know. I'm available via inbox. It's $250 a month, so yes. But more than that, guys, remember, this is a battle of it's all or nothing. So you don't just learn about your indigenous language. You also learn about the indigenous agriculture. You learn about the indigenous sciences. You need to be fully self-sustaining. And I'm not afraid. No, I'm not. It's time that this is done. And because it's time that this is done, it will be done. I'm just a voice. I'm just a voice influencing something in the bigger scheme of things. This is Sandile Tugani. Uhlathu jamba sucanza sanzanza. Ozalwa kwanzotho konyelenzi omaphango ongqalo nqange nqanqa sinoxhayo. Ogquqa. Oyini bafazi bentsikizi ntsholo nayiphazama nithi abathi isidoda ngoma lihlatyelwe isifazi. Ntsiba nkulu kayuthu sixa somile somilo zona zintshaba. I'm out, my people. Thank you, Brother Clinty. Thank you, Brother Limakara. Thank you to the guys who have been commenting. Please subscribe on YouTube. Those who want to join the program, reach out to me. And yeah. Brother Clinty is a good brother, by the way. It's a good brother. We need people like this. Brother Limakara is a good brother. Thanks to the sisters in the comments who are supporting. This is the only way to go forward, guys. We have to actually work together. We're gonna make mistakes. We know we're not perfect, but we need to find a way to collaborate and just push. See, Zakal is Kal. I'm out.